Now, chapter number 4. Chapter number 4 deals with materiality, risk assessment, and internal control. Now, when you hear materiality, materiality is Essay 320. Risk assessment, Essay 315, twinning essay, and Essay 330. Internal control, as a part of risk assessment, you should obtain an understanding of entity, its environment, as well as the internal control. So these are the main content of this chapter. So starting first with risk assessment. Risk assessment, as we said, it is essay 315, right? Essay 315. Essay 315, identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment. In that, they are talking first about the objective of the auditor. Of course, it is to perform risk assessment procedure through which you can identify and assess the ROMM, ROMM, risk of material misstatement. Now, audit risk. Audit risk is three components: inherent risk, control risk, detection risk. Then regarding the components of internal control, which is 5 component: control environment, risk assessment procedure, information system, monitoring, entities control, activity. Finally, as an auditor, what is your duty? Your duty is to respond to risk. What? Respond. Now, how do you respond to risk? Makkale, how do you respond? For responding to risk, you have Essay 330. So 330 is responses. Responses. Now, responses to assess risk. In responses, you are going to perform which procedure? Further audit procedure. Why further audit procedure is done? To reduce the risk, assess risk to an acceptable level. For that, you can do overall response, plus you will design nature, timing, and extent of further procedure. Further procedure mainly comprises of test of details and substantive audit procedure. Substantive procedure mainly comprises of, come on guys, it comprises of test of details and substantive analytical procedure. So that's about Essay 315 and Essay 330, which is nothing but for risk assessment. Risk assessment is 315 and response is 330. Now, as the chapter name itself suggests, materiality. So in this chapter, there are 2 other essays which is covered. One is Essay 320, which is talking about materiality. Regarding the concept of materiality. Materiality, very important. Okay, the benchmark. It can be either individually material or even in aggregate, it can be material. Now, materiality, which is fixed at a lower level, it's called as the performance materiality. Materiality and audit risk. What is the relationship? It is inversely related. Now, while fixing the materiality, auditor has to see certain factors affecting materiality benchmark. Then auditor has to fix the materiality. His objective is to determine the materiality with respect to account balance, class of transaction, and disclosures. Then one more essay is addressed in this chapter, which is regarding the internal control weakness. Okay. Now come on guys, which essay? Which is nothing but essay 265. Communicating deficiencies in internal control, with whom both management and TCWG. Now, earlier in chapter, which chapter? Chapter 2, we said essay 260. 260 was general communication, communicating any matters with TCWG, any significant matter. Here it is specifically internal control, deficiencies in internal control. So here, if it is significant deficiencies, we will be communicating with TCWG, and other deficiencies in internal control with management. For that, there is a mode. It should be in writing and through something called as letter of deeds. So these two standards, SA 320 and SA 265, are also addressed in this particular chapter. Now, moving on to the other topics other than SA, there is risk-based audit, very famous, RBA. Those three approach: risk assessment, respond, and reporting. Audit is done with respect to keeping on eye the risk-prone areas. The three phases of audit: risk assessment, respond, and reporting. Then talking about the next area, which is internal control. Internal control, come on. This is a topic which from Inter, what is internal control? What are the tools available to assess control, like narrative record, checklist, questionnaire, flow chart? Then, what are the limitations of control, like collusion among the employees, management may override the controls, abuse of power, cost-benefit considerations. Then, how to evaluate the control, evaluation of control. Okay, etc. So those basic topics are there in internal control, including IT point. IT means information technology. Then come this star point, framework in internal control. There is, in Companies Act in India, internal controls are dealt in Section 177, Audit Committee, then Section 149, Independent Directors, 143(3)(I), Auditors reporting under IFC, Internal Financial Reporting, then IFCR, Internal Financial Control Reporting, and also Directors under Section 134, Directors' Responsibility Statement, they have to state. Now, not only in India, in abroad, come on, international framework regarding internal control, like we have SOX in US, like that in different country. We have COSO, we have COCO, we have COBIT, and one more is there, Turnbull. Like in England and Wales, we have Turnbull. COBIT is regarding IT resources. COCO regarding Canadian. All these are dealt in this particular chapter. So guys, this is the summary of chapter number 3. No, I'm really sorry, regarding chapter number 4. Yeah, sorry, regarding chapter number 4. So chapter 4, basically, SA 320 is there, 315, 330. Then also SA 265. Right? All good?